What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream today. Let me just get some music started, just so I don't get bored out of my mind here. Let me know when you guys start joining the chat. I have some windows open. Today's live stream, I just wanted to check in with everybody. I might do some live coding. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I probably won't be looking at the chat too often today because what I really wanted to do in today's video is to kind of talk about the iOS programming, the page on Reddit here. I guess the subreddit is what they call it. I'm not a big Reddit user, but one of my friends that's working at Facebook, he messaged me the other day about this page and how someone posted a feature on here. So basically they wanted to build out this like swiping page controller thing that you see on the left side right here. And so I wanted to see if I can build it out live on this stream here. Might be a little bit longer because this feature probably takes, I don't know, I would say half an hour to build out. But I'll try to build it out for you guys. But yeah, it was really nice to actually be named or to be mentioned in a Reddit page. So you see down here it says, how do I create this news home popular app? So this feature right here in the video. And then down here it says the guy who has a YouTube channel, let's build an app, does this in his YouTube recreation app. He uses a UI collection view where each view is in a view cell. I'm on mobile, blah, 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 too lazy to link. And yeah, they linked the video that I think I shot maybe, was it 2 years ago, on how to build out this feature. So it might be interesting to look at it and rebuild it and see what we can do. Okay, so yeah, I'm just looking at the chat here. So we have about 39 people so far. I'll do a little bit of coding and then I'll try to read some of the questions on the chat as well. If you want me to read your question, go ahead and hit on the super chat here. So the super chat and super chat, send a highlighted message, and then I'll go ahead and read it. Otherwise, I might just be coding for today's live stream. I guess that's what they call it on YouTube. And here we go. Let me try to rebuild this thing, but the first thing I want to do here is actually pull up a QuickTime video here. Okay, so the idea is I kind of want to build out this feature in this this little page here, and I've kind of captured it into this video. This way I can refer back to it really easily. So I will try to put this somewhere inside of the window. Yeah, so hey, Bekzad, Karim, Shanzang, Shanjong, Sammy, Yula, Zachary, cool, Micah Wu. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces now. Urshad, please make more video series. A lot of you guys, if you're wondering why I haven't been posting a lot of videos on the YouTube channel, it's mostly because I've been focusing all of my attention and efforts on the new series on the website. So the new Tinder Firestore series. And I mean, so far so good. We've been able to publish about 36 videos on the entire course. So I think that total it'll be maybe 42 or 43 lessons. So I'm gonna be wrapping up on that series. But yeah, that's good. So cool. Let me know if you guys want to see more like live streams. If you guys post on this Reddit iOS page, maybe I'll have a look at it and see what kind of features you guys want to build out. But yeah, sometimes I do run out of ideas as to what to build out. So, you know, sometimes it might help to get some suggestions from you guys. And I'll try to build out this feature really quickly here. And so it's actually pretty easy if you know what you're doing with a UI collection view. So the swiping page, Reddit feature. This is what I'm going to be building out. Let's just create this somewhere inside of my hard drive. Save this guy. And let's see. So live programming is always something that's very, very tricky. Compared to live teaching, I think live programming it's always very hard because you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And I'll try to be as, I would love to see you build something like the movie DB, to be honest. What is the movie DB? What are you referring to? Is my question. So movie DB is just a website that contains a lot of like movie data, right? Are you asking to rebuild that entire website? It's nothing more than just a Rails application or some kind of MVC application. I'm not saying that it's easy to build out, but like those websites are so ubiquitous and so vanilla that I don't know, just I was asking to use its API to build something in Swift. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. I just don't know exactly what that API, like what are the rights on the API. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to actually look at my app here. So let's kind of focus on this guy, right? So if you take a look at this video here, this feature, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out this news, home, and popular, this little top bar. And the whole feature is basically going to allow you to scroll through 3 panes on the bottom. So whenever I say pane, I'm just referring to one of these pages that's underneath this top navigation horizontal bar thing. Hey, Fernando, greetings. Troll Bronze, good to see you. Moses Ruck. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of people are always asking about this. What is your opinion about native app versus hybrid? I mean, I think it's a really silly question, to be honest. I think most people that ask that question are just not, maybe not experienced enough in the space of native to fully understand what's going on. So I don't really like answering that silly question. Okay, so let me see if I can build this out, and I do apologize if I ignore your questions for now. But yeah, let's just kind of code live. Haven't done this in a while. So let's see. The first thing I'm going to do is create a collection view controller. Let's see. Here's my swiping controller. And here we go, controller. Let's go ahead. First thing I always like to do in my applications is to, create my window manually. Swiping controller. And so for some of you guys that don't know about this collection view layout thing, you always have to specify some kind of flow layout for this actual constructor here. And so is this iPhone XR? That looks good. Make something on MLKit. Maybe. So, you get this warning down here. Let me see if I want to get rid of that warning. Yeah, let's go on the storyboard. The thing that no one really loves to use. I don't know if I want to talk shit about storyboards for today. Okay, so here's my swiping controller. Let's see, do I want to use a UI collection view controller or not? So the way I'm going to break this down is I need a view controller that contains this entire page, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a UI collection view, does it? I'm trying to think what I want to do here. Please talk shit about storyboards. So here's one thing I'll say about storyboards, or not about storyboards directly, but about a lot of the opinions that people give on storyboards. And so I guess I'll say this. The reason why you don't see a lot of, or the reason why you see a lot of storyboard-oriented tutorials online is because it's really easy to get into, obviously. And it's, a lot of people just want to teach the very basic parts of iOS because that's something that will gain the most attention. So it's really easy to understand why people use storyboards, and professional developers don't really have the time and effort to put out like tutorials online, right? They're getting paid like 150, 200K to do their jobs. There's no reason for them to sit down and record a video or even write a blog post for a tutorial. So the real developers that are programming in like real code, they are doing their own projects in like 100% code. The people that you do hear that use storyboards, you know, they don't probably have like a whole lot of experience building large scaled applications. If you ever join a big company, then it's like, you know, the entire code base is just code. You can't really fight that. So there's no reason to use storyboards if the whole company is just going to use yeah, I guess kind of went on a tangent there, but Zachary Wagner. I don't know who Bob is. When you're saying Bob, who are you referring to? So here's another really silly question. I guess I'm gonna roast people in the chat today. Which is more popular, iOS or Android? Another really silly question. That's kind of like asking what's more popular, pizza or hamburgers? They're both so like ubiquitous and prevalent in the world. It's a really silly question to ask, in my opinion. Okay, so let's get going here. Let's see, what do I want to use? What does that want to use for this? So I might just want to use a regular UI view controller. Is that a good idea? Maybe. Is that a good idea? Yeah. So Troll Bronze says iOS equals higher chance of targeting rich people. So that's definitely true. When I was working at my last like e-commerce company, what is this? Learn Swift with Bob. Oh, that Korean guy. So it looks like Learn Swift with Bob is not available right now. Learn Swift with Bob. Okay, it's Learn Swift with Bob, and yeah. You know, it's funny. Bob reached out to me on, I think, YouTube a while back when personal messages were still a thing, and so he was trying to reach out, and I responded to his message, but he never got back to me. So I think he was trying to reach out for a collaboration. That would have been interesting. Seems like a nice guy. Okay, so let me think about this problem. So I haven't really thought about how to build this feature yet. So let's see, if I use a collection view controller, I think I can get this going here. Okay, so let's see. The first thing I want is my anchoring extension. So let's see, show in Finder, grab my extension, and here we go. So for those of you guys that are like fighting auto layout with all the anchoring code, no one really lays out stuff using the raw anchoring code. There's always like SnapKit or some kind of extension that they use. So people that say that programming takes a lot of code is kind of silly. So let's see, collection view, background color. Again, I do apologize if I don't get to your questions today. I'm still trying to figure out if I should do more live coding types of streams. I've been watching a lot of Twitch TV lately, and I've gotten into a lot of like Twitch holes where I'll just sit here and watch people either play video games or go outside in the real world and bring a camera around and do IRL streams. So I've been considering like doing maybe something like, okay, in the chat, let me know if you guys want to like watch me on a Twitch stream do code. Like hit a +1 if you want me to start a Twitch stream where I just code and just hang out without doing all of these like really structured videos. Like, you know, the structured videos are extremely informative, but one thing about those videos is that it takes a lot of time for me to prepare everything and to sit down and make sure I can record all of the entire lesson in something that's not like super janky as it is right now. As you can see, I'm stumbling through the video. So, you know, doing live programming is more off the cuff, and, you know, not everything's going to be perfect. Okay, so we see a couple of +1s. What kind of sucks is like I have to use a Mac to access Xcode, and I would like to use something like Streamlabs on Twitch to make the stream a little bit more interesting. And I think programming tutorials are like hard because you have to have this whole Xcode, you have to have this IDE taking up the whole screen. Yeah, I still haven't found a way to like make a live stream interesting in terms of live coding. It gets really boring, right? Okay, so we got a lot of +1s. We have some Korean in here that I don't understand. I don't speak Korean, sorry. I just know how to say 사랑해요, 감사합니다, 감사합니다. Yeah, that's the extent of my Korean. Okay, so let me just set this thing to red here. I can already tell that while I'm looking at the chat, all my attention gets diverted into a different like thought process. And you guys probably get this a lot too when you're coding and something else starts to distract you. You totally lose your train of thought, and like trying to work on this one single feature becomes extremely difficult. But you know, alas, that's kind of what we do as programmers. So let's see, the thing is really, really ugly. I never really like to start my controllers out with just this raw view controller. So let's say let nav controller equals UI nav controller, view controller, say that, and nav controller. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Does that look good? Maybe need one more parentheses, view controller, and navigation item dot title equals Reddit page feature. So page swipe feature, and I think I can run this now. Let me set that to white. View anchor heading. View top anchor, view leading anchor, view bottom, view trailing. I think I want this to be something top. Let's see, 44, 0, 0, 0. And I don't care about the size. I think that's all I want. Okay. So I'm going to start off my controller with a navigation bar at the top there. Looks like this is white, so why is this? So safe area guide. I think I'll just do that. I think the guide will give me something a little bit better. Okay, so there you go. I've created some space for my little navigation bar that's going to be right here. Can you make this mock with MVVM architecture? So a lot of you guys are asking about MVVM. I think it's a perfectly fine architecture, And I would recommend, I would recommend using MVVM for a lot of projects. The thing about MVVM is like it's a different thought process. Like in terms of architecting out your application using MVVM takes a lot of upfront like mental processing in terms of what your file structure and what your objects are going to be, and trying to explain that inside of a video tutorial. I find it's not as easy. I think just in general, explaining things in a video is difficult. But you know, I guess that's what we do here. We try to make videos that are interesting. So let's see. Let's see menu. Menu view. Yeah, equals UI view. Okay. Menu view dot background color equals dot yellow. Oh yeah, by the way, you guys can probably see me stumbling through a lot of code that I don't normally stumble through. So this will be interesting. I don't think I care about the padding. What is this? I'm getting some people posting silly messages in the chat. You know, just the standard trolls. Okay, so there we go. Looks good. Yeah, this feature is going to be pretty easy. Yeah, I haven't really programmed this out beforehand, so you know, you can typically judge how easy a feature is going to be built, how easy it is going to be to build out based on prior experience. But yeah, let me just create my menu view here. So menu controller, inner collection view controller. Okay, so here we go. We have a menu. I might redo this entire feature as a separate video. So I'm just doing a live stream, so just ignore me. Architecture is not important just as long as your code is composable as possible. So I guess I half agree with that statement. Architecture is very important. It's just like your code being composable is also just as important. Like if someone dives into your code base and isn't able to make sense of it because the architecture is very abnormal and non-traditional, non-conventional, then it's really hard to make sense of like what you're trying to do. And you know, every now and then you'll run into that type of problem. It's just really annoying sometimes. Okay, so let me just create my menu cell here. So menu cell, yeah, collection view cell. Yeah, I probably won't be explaining too much. I'm just trying to code. Maybe I should turn on some music with that. Let me know if the music's too loud. Don't think I like that type of music. What kind of music do you guys like to listen to when you guys kid? I've been into like this EDM binge. Let me know if this music's okay. I find that music that's really high in beat, like beats per minute, it really gets me like focused. I'm not really sure why it gets me focused. Like the beat gets me so in a trance that I can just start coding right away. Deep house. Scan has some cool songs. I love bass music and rhythm. I don't know what rhythm is. But I picked MBC for my job. Onboarding new people would be much harder. It was Ahmad Al-Bakawi, if I'm saying that correctly. Oh, good old Thunderbird. Is my stream gonna get banned for copywritten music? Yeah, again, do apologize if I'm not looking at the stream. Quick maths. Yeah, I think after you do this for a while, or after such a long time of playing with iOS code, this stuff gets pretty repetitive, and you can do this in your head a lot. One thing that's really annoying about Xcode is that creating these files take forever. Like having to just type out all this stuff is so annoying inside of Xcode. It just really bothers me. If you use any other type of editor like VS Code or IntelliJ, creating a new file takes like 2 seconds, and in Xcode it takes me so many freaking clicks that every time I have to create a new file, I just create a new Swift file and type all that code myself. Kupar says, hey Brian, in the Kindle course I added a button to the collection view, however the button won't register presses researching online. It's because by collection view hijacking the gesture. So if you can see the button, if the button is on top of the collection view, you should be able to access the button. You might have to do the lazy var instantiation to make sure it registered correctly. But yeah, why do we need to use a lazy var? Well, sometimes when you add a target onto a button, if it's not lazy, it just doesn't get, like, the button touch up inside action doesn't get called. I don't know why that is. And some versions of Xcode have different strange bugs to it, so I can't really tell. Okay, so where are we? We have 3 menu items on the very top. You know, building this up isn't like that hard. And I guess one thing I would recommend for people to do is to really think about the structure of the application first. So as you can see, I've already broken down a lot of this into separate components. So these cells right here, the menu item cells, are a cell. This top menu area is an entire view controller called menu controller. And the entire thing that contains all your views is the regular view controller here, which is the swiping controller. So I know a lot of people like to just toss everything in one file, but I've been doing this for a while, and if you don't separate your classes out correctly, you're just gonna go crazy if you try to modify your code later on. It'll really lead to a lot of headaches, unnecessary headaches. So here's another thing that a lot of people like to do. They like to hard code these values into their, like, the cell here. So what they'll do is, I guess you'll do something like if index path dot item, if it's 0, then we'll say like cell dot label dot text equals news or something. Else if index path dot item equals 1 cell dot label dot text equals home. What's the other one? Popular. Right, so this is what a lot of people will do, and I guess there's nothing super wrong with this approach. but there's obviously better ways of doing this, right? Tin Lord One says, do I normally start my streams randomly? Kind of. I just really haven't thought about doing live streams as often, and I guess some of the reasons for that is because I'm not sure how much I want to do live streams in the first place. Yeah, I like doing live streams, but sometimes I just don't know how engaging they are. I mean, I really like checking in with you guys, and I like to see the questions that you guys have. Gives me a good indication as to where you guys are at, just in terms of Swift proficiency. But if you guys want me to do more live streams, I'm more than happy to do that, and maybe I'll do them more. And I really have to think about the timing as well, because not everyone's available at certain times. Have I considered making a Discord? There are very few Discord iOS community oriented Discords. I've thought about creating a Discord. I don't know how much effort it is that goes into managing a Discord. I think it would totally consume my entire day if I stayed inside of a Discord chat. And I'm not sure if that's what I want to do, and I'm not sure if it'll benefit you guys a lot either. I mean, sure, I'll be able to answer questions, but you know, that's probably the extent. Yeah. Anyhow, this little index path thing right here, you know, don't do this. If you can avoid doing these types of if checks like this, like, just definitely try to ignore or omit these if checks if possible. And like, the reason why this type of if checking is hard, or is really not super efficient, is because if you want to introduce like another thing, like item equals like 2, and you just keep typing this out, right? You see all this repetitive code, another title, and then you'll say else if index path dot item equals 3, right? You keep doing this, and I think I probably did this a long time ago too. And you probably don't see the errors in your ways until someone points it out to you. So if anyone in the chat wants to point out what the problem with this is, please let me know. But I'm gonna go ahead and fix this right here. Like, you never really want to do this, it's just silly. So obviously create like some kind of array, right? So if I'll let I don't know, yeah, items. Yeah, so you know, you kind of see I just eliminated all that code with one array. Like, literally you can eliminate 20 lines, 50 lines of code by just using a simple array and applying an index check. I mean, it's not magic, but if you don't understand how to do that, you probably need to study arrays more, I guess. I don't know what to say about that. Okay, let's see. So I have my swiping controller here, contains my menu. What will happen if I you could probably use a dictionary for the if else stuff. Yeah. So the tiers of data structure is like, first, if you could just use a string to represent your data, then just use a string. And then if you need a list of stuff, then you bump up to an array. And then if you need something more than just a list, then you would use a dictionary or some kind of hash map. That's the hierarchy that I go by. And so I don't need a dictionary now. So that probably wouldn't be a really efficient data structure for this menu section. But I can see it turning into a dictionary style component very easily. But not now. We don't really need it. Let's see if let's layout equals question field layout. Man, the music is really getting me going. Jesus. Is this what I want to do? This looks kind of bad, but let's see. Guess I'll do that. Nah, doesn't look so good. Yeah, we'll try that for now. Let's see. So Tinloy asks, got a question for you. I saw quite a lot of cool button animation transitions online, but not sure if those are doable in Xcode. How can you tell if the animation is doable or not? Well, most animations are done in Xcode and Swift or Objective-C. Trying to do something that's like an animation done through After Effects is pretty hard. Most things are doable. Yeah, animations they're difficult, right? And if you want to build out nice looking animations, they take a while to perfect. Everything that you see inside of like let's say Snapchat or Instagram, they spend a lot of time building out those animations. Hey JCOBia. Yeah. Lottie for animations. Yep. Lottie. Is that from Airbnb? I think it's from Airbnb, right? They have that tool that transforms After Effects animations into like Swift code. I've never really looked into it, but I hear it's really helpful. This is what I want to do. Yeah, so right now I'm just drawing out this yellow bar right here. It's kind of hard to see, so maybe I'll put it as black. Let's see, you don't want a trailing anchor. Make this a third of the width. So equal to the dimension. And view width anchor 1/3. Is that what I want? Yeah. See if I can get this going here. Okay, so that looks okay. I mean, I think that looks okay. Okay, so now I just have to figure out how to slide this bar over. So if I look at this again, that bar goes to the left, right, and left. Okay, so let's try to move this bar as we scroll here. How do I want to do that? Let's see. I think I want to expose this menu bar, and the swiping controller is here. I might want to hook into scroll, view, did scroll. I don't know what. Let's see. Menu controller, not menu bar, transform, translation. So, let me see what this does. If I go that way, does that. Okay. That's okay. Again, I really haven't coded this feature in a while or anything similar to this, so I'm just testing things out. Right. How are we going to make the underline? Yeah, there it is. I think the thing that's weird about coding is that it all seems very magical until someone shows you what the code needs to look like. And like this entire block right here, the scroll view did scroll method, is just a magical incantation that someone is able to cast inside of your project, right? And once you see this magical spell here, everything just works with this menu bar up there. And that's just how coding is, really. You have to try a lot of different things until something works, and through the trial and error of, you know, trying to figure out if the thing actually works out correctly, you learn so much. And the reason why I can do this quickly is because I've done this a lot of times. And I guess I have somewhat of a foundation of, you know, how UI kit works, how to manipulate the view, how to gain access to the frame's width and the height, and yeah, working with this stuff a lot really helps out. And is that it? Is that it? Can't tell if that's all there is to this feature here. So you see how when they swipe and sweep over to the left and the right, the actual text on the label is selected and deselected, right? It starts off as a dark color, and then it turns into this, or it starts off as a faint gray, and then when it's selected, it becomes this dark black, right? So up here, they're all black text, which isn't what I want. I would prefer if the menus still, let's say if these labels right here, label that text, label that text color goes that light gray is probably what you want. You want to start off as gray, and then when it's selected and deselected, you can just simply say like, so this is gray right here, right? What is it? Selected. So is selected, did set. So you're probably not familiar with what is selected is going to do for you, but I mean, it's really hard to explain this other than to just code it. Label text color equals, let's see, if it's selected, then we'll say dot black, otherwise dot light gray. Again, I only know how to do this because I've done it like 20-30 different times. There's nothing really like special you need to know. Like there's a lot of questions as to like, how do you even know how to do this? Well, you do it enough times that it becomes like natural. I don't have to look up the blog posts and Stack Overflow anymore, which I've done plenty of times. Your math logic is very good. It would have taken probably 30 minutes for you. Yeah. Parham Gudarzi, I'm going to concern a little. I think I'm invisible. No, you're there. I just don't see any other messages here. Is there a particular benefit to doing this in a UI collection view controller instead of a page view controller? So a page view controller is like, a page view controller is an excellent component if you don't need access to like the scroll. So if you can tell me how to actually get the scroll to do this in a page view controller, I would be very interested in knowing how to actually do that. And I built this component out like in past projects at least 5 or 6 different ways, and I've never gotten the UI page view controller to work. So I think that's the only reason why I'm using a collection view controller instead. Did end dragging? Is that what this is? Will decelerate. Scroll. End dragging. Did end scrolling animation. What I went. Will end, did end. Will end, did end. Did end scrolling animation. Don't want to use this. Not sure what I want to use to select these cells here. Let's see. Select item at index path. Hello from the Maldives. Hey, Ismail. What's wrong with this? I wonder what this does. Does this even work? Did end scrolling animation. This doesn't even get called. What am I doing? Sometimes I really hate these methods that don't even get called. This is also really annoying when Xcode tells you to override something. I mean, I took in the autocomplete. It should give me the automatic override, right? Does this not work? Okay. What is X here? X is 0. Is selected. Select item. Select. Allow selection equals to true. Yeah, so Zachary, the thing I'm talking about is the actual scroll. I'm not really talking about the arrays. Like, if you can tell me when I scroll the page view, how far I'm scrolling, that's how I'm modifying this bar at the top, right? Why does this not work? I do that. Do I use a lot of protocols on extensions or extension on protocols. Yeah, when you have enough time and when you're not recording a video, you always separate your files and your code into smaller packages. Let's see, collection, view, select item. This does not work. Zero and 2. Oh. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, so we have the highlighting of these menus now. I was trying to do something really stupid earlier. Yeah, I think that's pretty much this entire feature here. If you're curious about how to create these like inner cells, this isn't really that difficult either. But I guess so let's go ahead and create a new like group here. It's a new file. Like page cell? I don't know what to call this actually. I don't know, page controller? That's confusing. So list. I don't know, news item controller. So news controller, news items controller. I guess that's the best name I can come up with now. Yeah, when you tap to a tab, does it snap? No, it does not. That is what we're missing. I knew we were missing a major part of this. Okay, so let's go back to menu controller. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to say did select item at, and we're going to figure out whenever we select this thing here, let's bring over the bar. So, we're going to do this here. We're going to say menu bar dot transform equals affine transform of translation. One of these is not right. Okay, I just want to bring the bar over. Let's say click, 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 that. Click. Okay, it's kind of weird, but okay. Maybe we want it to be animated because, you know, animations are nice. Will you watch the Fun Swift Talks when they come out? I'm not sure what a Fun Swift Talk is. Is that something from Apple? Or some other community Swift person? Let me know if you guys think this feature is hard to build. I want to gauge if the difficulty of this is hard in your opinion. Because, you know, as you can see, I'm just typing the code out because I've done it before. Not like in the last, you know, month or year. I've built out these features before in like iOS, Android, and the web. So, you know, this isn't like really testing what I can come up with creatively. It's just what I've done before. Thanks for starting this. I bet he's not using the crappy Magic keyboard. I can show you guys what keyboard I'm using. It's this right here. Hopefully it doesn't kill my entire system. But this is a Mac Kali keyboard. It's a MACALLY, so Mac Ally. And that's what it is. I'm not really a huge keyboard person. It's just what was it's one of those compatible Mac keyboards that have the command key in the correct location, so that's why I bought it. And overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. The only thing strange about the keyboard is like some of the buttons are in, some of the keys are in weird locations. Get a mechanical keyboard. Yeah, I guess the only requirement I have for a keyboard is that it's not too loud as I'm trying to record videos and typing a lot of code out. I feel like mechanical keyboards are loud with their switches. Is it possible to make the tab highlight match the background color of the page? I don't know if it's already discussed, just tuned in. So there's still something weird with me tapping on this, and the thing appears really strange. But I guess this is the extent to which I'm gonna build this out. Let's see. Let's create something interesting instead of these red, green, and blue views. Guess I could have used a table view controller for this thing. Might have been better. Yeah. I guess we'll see what this renders out. Hey, look, we got a super chat. Edwin Paz Aparicio. Thank you for the CLP 500. Always good to get support from the community here. Makes this makes the channel possible and makes these streams also a little more interesting. Yeah, probably using a table view would have been better. Why is this font so freaking small? I think it's because my simulator is so small. Hopefully that's why. Yeah. Okay, that looks decent. So these cells, they're not auto-sizing, which is kind of unfortunate. So why don't we just swap this for a UI table view controller? This might be a little easier. I don't think I need that. Don't need that. Yeah, maybe I'll just use this. Huh, so that's what we get for this thing. Okay. My stream just die? Is my stream still up? It says my stream has bad health. I'm still trying to stream. Okay, so how long did it take me to build this out here? I've been trying to stream for It's working. Okay. I'm trying to see what's up with the stream. All right, Troll Bronze, I'll see you next time. Have a nice night. So let me try to answer some questions in the chat. So Nizam says, why am I not using a segmented control? I don't know why. If you can achieve this effect with a segmented control, then by all means, you should definitely use it. Let's see if I can break the implementation here. I don't need this to actually do the selection of the menu item. Okay, well, that looks pretty nice. Yeah. So Chad Walker, yeah, I just figured that out myself as well. I think I have implemented what you just said. And basically, now the scrolling behavior is much nicer. There's no jumpiness and anything wonky with the actual position of this horizontal bar. Let me know in the chat if you guys want access to the project that I just created, and I will try to send a link somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but maybe I'll clean this up in a video and record it without me thinking on the fly live how to build this feature out, which is you know, always kind of hard. Let's see. Corey Ackland says, try to ask you a question, although it didn't go through. Wonder how you would go about making the menu bar dynamic based on the cell's label width or number of characters in the string. How would I do that? Well, I don't know. If you want to make these menu items dynamic, I guess you would have to figure out where this horizontal menu bar will land whenever you click on things. That doesn't seem like a lot of fun. I guess you can what can you do? It really depends on if your bars are... Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that question. Making anything dynamic is always somewhat tricky. So it really depends on what your feature looks like. I have a lot of different things that I'm imagining right now in my head, and they all sound kind of, you know, not so fun. I think Zachary says, I would appreciate access for sure. Please put the video up on your channel. Thanks. Yeah. So that's kind of a live stream for today. Sorry if I didn't answer any questions in the chat, but maybe I'll do more of these live coding style features. Yeah, so text label size to fit. Yeah, it really depends on what you want your menu bar to actually do. Like this one's obviously just 3 menu items in the very top there. And everything's hard coded to the value of 3. If your text is different size, like how would you handle, like are they all equally spaced out? What happens when there's things that extend beyond the width of your page? Are the items infinite? Like is your menu bar able to support like n amount of items? If that's the case, then you have to make use of the size for item method that tells your collection what the size of your text is. And then you can figure out based on the size what you want to do with this horizontal bar. But I mean, as long as you can figure out the size of your cell, then it's a relatively straightforward feature to work on. Right. Okay. What's your view on React Native or Ruby Motion compared to Swift and Objective-C? I don't know. What is your opinion on React Native? Let me hear your opinion first. Just commented to see my comment in your phone. I don't really see much on my phone these days because I turn off a lot of notifications. It's super distracting. Zachary Wagner, thanks for the stream. Well, thank you for joining me today and keeping me company as I figure out how to build out this nice little Reddit feature. Yeah, if you have any other questions about how this is, you know, how you work on this type of stuff, let me know. You can obviously customize these menu item things to be whatever you want, really. They are all inside of this menu cell object. And, you know, now that we have everything nicely separated out into like one component here, here, and here, managing your code base becomes a lot easier in the long run. What do I think about Reactive Swift? I like Reactive Swift a lot. So there's something called Reactive Swift and RX Swift and Reactive Cocoa and RX Cocoa and, you know, RX Java, RX Kotlin. And yeah, utilizing reactive programming will clean up a lot of different areas of your UI code, which always gets really messy. And if you can understand how to get reactive programming to work out correctly, I think it'll help you a lot. Just in terms of not over bloating your view controller with a huge amount of code, which always happens. Yeah, like I'm sure you guys have seen like 1,000-line view controller files, right? One of the easiest ways of separating out your view controller code is to implement your views instead of separate files, separate view subclasses and cells, and make sure everything is hooked up so that it's outside of your view controller. Definitely a lot easier said than done. And reactive programming is one of those ways to do that. Okay. All right, so it looks like we have about 64 watching the live stream. I don't think I have anything prepared other than this today. So it was fun while it lasted. If you guys have any questions about how this works. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna post this on the live stream right here. And I'll zip up this file, I'll post it on a live stream, and then you can play around with the actual project. And then, let's see. Okay, so I have that. I'm just gonna upload it onto my drive. How do I want to access this? Okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay, I'm gonna zip it up and I'm gonna send the link to you guys. And you can download it, play around with it. And so here's the project in the chat. I don't want to go through the GitHub repo. Yeah, maybe that's a better idea. Yeah, I think that's probably the better idea. But if you click on that link, you should be able to get to the zip file that I just put into this entire project. 1001, hey, 101. Thanks, Brian. Your video has been awesome. Well, cool. Are you planning to release more videos in the UI, view, property, animation, blur, effect series, e.g. sticky, collection view header? Love the videos. To be honest, I've been kind of burnt out producing those Tinder Firestore videos, so I wanted to do a live stream because live streams are a lot easier. I don't have to edit. I don't have to prepare a whole lot. I just get on and talk to you guys, so it's much easier and less stressful. So this was my outlet for some of the burnout that I was experiencing with the course. And yeah, producing videos is hard. I've never been in a position where working has been so like strangely difficult for me. Like normally working is really easy because coding just comes really, I wouldn't say naturally, but then it's really, it's easy to determine what you need to have done when you want to code up a project for someone, or you have some feature to build out at work. You start off with some design, you have your workflow, you have your testing, you have, you know, stakeholders that want to make sure your features are shipped on time. So there's so many different processes that force you to get into work mode, and everything like at a job is defined so clearly and explicitly, whereas working on these videos, everything's so ambiguous as to what I really want to be able to deliver. Like I obviously want to put out the best content possible, but sometimes it's just hard. So yeah, Has the stream stopped? I don't know. Has it? My connection still seems to be up and running, so I don't think the stream has stopped yet. Yeah, if you guys want me to build out another like feature, if you post it into the Reddit forum, then let me know on the forum what the link is. You can hit me up on Twitter, and if there's a nice like feature like this that's, you know, somewhat straightforward to build out, I'll try to do it in the next live stream. If not, then yeah. If you guys haven't noticed, I really like building out UI, and like it's not the only thing that I like to work on, but putting together UI and making sure the code is able to, you know, build out the interaction that you're looking for. That's something that I like doing a lot. So that's gonna be it for today. I will see you guys next live stream. Again, any other features, just hit me up on Twitter, and I'll try to see if I can build things out for you guys. All right.